On today's show, we're talking to Jeff Klein, a single parent who didn't expect to be single again. We're exploring some of the realities of being divorced and dating. I'm Andrea Syrtash, and this is On Dating. What are your feelings on dating someone who is divorced?
Yeah, I think someone that's been divorced is fine. I mean, they've got a lot more experience.
I always thought that I didn't want to date anyone that was divorced, but the guy that I'm with now is actually divorced.
I would consider dating someone who's divorced just because you never know why they were divorced, and there's no sense in judging them. Perhaps it wasn't their fault.
I would date someone that's divorced, but I would have to kind of know a little bit of the background.
I think it's becoming more practical. I mean, as 50% of the population is getting divorced, I mean, it's a practicality to consider people.
Jeff Klein married right out of college and had his daughter a few years after that. At 34, he never expected to be back on the dating market, though he's having a great time. Jeff claims he can balance his life as a bachelor with his life as a single dad, and you can have it all as a divorced dater. Is that true? Can you have it all?
I think you can maybe have most. Maybe not at all, but enough.
So how do you balance it?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember in any circumstance is that I've already been there. I've already had a wife. I have a daughter. I have a beautiful daughter, and I enjoy spending time with her. So once you realize that, I think you really don't need to stress out about dating so much. And when you're not stressed, dating just comes a little more naturally.
That's definitely true. To take the pressure off and know your life is pretty complete, and that a nice date's a good enhancement, but you already have a good life is a
Absolutely.
great thing. So you're pretty upfront, it seems, as I think you should be. When you're a single parent, it's really important you come as a package, and people should know that. Are you pretty upfront when you're not with your daughter about your status?
I just think it's important not to try to hide anything. I mean, it's not this moment where you say, there's something I have to tell you. I'm a dad. That just puts too much, it makes it seem too desperate. And it's a relaxed thing. I mean, I'm proud of my daughter. Some women are interested in dating someone who has a child. Some women aren't. Mm-hmm. And I'm obviously looking to date the people who are.
So if you're like on an online dating site, would you actually include a photo of you and your daughter on the site?
That's a good question. I think on MySpace and Friendster, I've had pictures of my daughter. For online dating, I mention it, but I don't really put photos up because it's a little...
I should note there are a lot of single parent dating sites where not only is it totally acceptable, it's encouraged to show your family.
Sure, I know plenty of people who have met matches on, I think there's singleparentmeet.com. I have a friend who's dating someone, another mom, a single mom from that site.
So Jeff, I'm sure you're very conscious of the fact that you probably don't want to bring anyone home or introduce your daughter to a woman until you're sure that it's going somewhere, that it's been a number of months. That's a big thing single parents have to keep in mind. Is that been your experience?
Yeah, that's actually something that I've always wondered about, because I've dated people who have been frustrated by the fact that I won't introduce my daughter to them right off the bat or at all even. And I'm curious, like, what do you think is the...
I think that's a really important discussion to have with the person. So if someone takes it personally, to remind them that it's actually not at all about her and that it's just about the protection of your daughter. And I think any woman who is caring and looking for a man who's thoughtful would actually appreciate that if you framed it that way.
I usually explain to people that I want my daughter to have a healthy outlook on relationships when she's older, and not see a parade of dates that I'm on or that her mother has, just because she's already been through a relationship that ended. I want her models to be positive models of healthy relationships.
I think that's excellent.
But I still don't know the timeline. I mean, I don't know if there's a hard, fast rule
There's no
or
hard
like
timeline. I'd say at least 3 to 6 months, just so, in that time you've probably been out with the person a number of times, has seen her environment, has met some of her friends and family. But there's no, exact date that this is a good time to introduce your daughter. I think it will be intuitive. you'll have a gut feeling, this is really going somewhere. This is a person who's going to be in my life for a while. Now it's time to integrate.
And now that she's 5.5, she's actually asking me when I'm going to have a girlfriend.
How do you respond?
I tell her when I meet someone that I can fall in love with, and recently she did the ooh, but that means you're going to kiss him, and I said no. No,
We don't kiss. Daddy
no.
does not kiss.
Daddy doesn't kiss. So in terms of meeting people online, what do you recommend on a profile? Because while I've been on a few sites, I never really know exactly how much to mention or how much to not mention. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think profiles are good with anybody, good to keep concise. And it's important to be specific and mention some of your interests. You are very interested in doing things with your daughter. So I would mention some of those under interests and about me.
Would you recommend putting My Little Pony first or Strawberry Shortcake first?
That
Which
is
would
a
be
common,
the top interest?
Yeah, interesting. A common dating dilemma with profiles.
Mm-hmm.
I would pick the one you prefer and lead with that.
Well, that would be My Little Pony, I think. So here's a question for you. I feel like when I'm, the people that I meet, if I'm face to face or in person, it's a lot easier to get past the fact that I'm a single dad. If I'm meeting people in a social setting or through friends or at work or through salsa dancing or whatever. But sometimes I feel like putting online, if I'm trying to meet people online, that it could be a deal breaker. Someone's looking at a profile and they'll see that I have a child, and
it will be, to be honest, it will be a deal breaker for some people. But the great thing about online dating is there are millions and millions of people online who will be open to it, and you can be so upfront about it in your profile without trying to find the dance before you bring it up or bring your daughter up. So I think there's some opportunity for you there to just say it in the about me and in your interest right away, and get specific about what you love about being a dad, and then move on from that into what you love about dating, what you're looking for. So don't focus on that the entire profile, but you can be upfront pretty immediately, and I think that's to your advantage.
So where do you mention the princesses and the
Little Ponies?
Yeah, and the My Little Ponies. Yeah, where does that stuff go?
Well, I think that's a great opportunity to bring in your great sense of humor, and in the interest, you can talk about Strawberry Shortcake in a really kind of cute and funny way, and that will be endearing to a lot of women.
Or really scary.
Or really scary. But those aren't women you want to date. So
Sure.
I even think that you show that being a single dad and a bachelor is hot. It is sexy. It is sexy to talk about Strawberry Shortcake, Jeff. No, but it's really sexy.
I'll keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. But it's seriously, in all
Hey, can I talk to you about Strawberry Shortcake?
in all seriousness, it's really a wonderful thing that you're dedicated to your daughter, and I'm sure a lot of women will be very impressed and very touched by that. So I wish you all the best of luck. I hope you come back, share your online experience.
Thank you.
Here are some tips for single parents who are dating. Take time to learn about yourself first before you jump back into dating. Take time before introducing your child to your date. Make your child part of your online dating profile, but focus on other things as well. Thanks for watching On Dating, and remember, even a bad date makes a great story. So get out there and always have fun. I'm Andrea Syrtash. I'll see you next time.